Hi travelers, Tara here, Hidden Lotus Tarot. I forgot to do the Aries video yesterday, so one of my friends contacted me. He's like, I've been waiting on the Aries video. So here it is. Let's see. We have still have 4 planets in retrograde. That is um, Saturn, Pluto, Mars, and Mercury. We have the new moon in Taurus on the 6th. Mercury has retrograded into Taurus. And then we have a full moon, a 2-day full moon, people. So take note of that. It will be the first day, it will be full moon in Scorpio. The following day, it will be um, full moon in Sagittarius. Sagittarius rules people at a distance, colleges, universities, teachers, foreigners, travel. And typically we know that full moons are highly emotional. I think being in Scorpio, it's going to be uber emotional. And then also being in the next day, being in Sagittarius, it can bring up a lot of anger, either you having anger at someone at a distance or someone projecting anger at you who is at a distance from you. So I would, my take would be, if you have anything going on that you can kind of hold off on, any discussions or anything like that, please try to avoid the full moon of this weekend, the 20th through the 22nd. Now, with Mercury being retrograde in Taurus, Taurus is ruled by Venus. And Venus is all about the love, the income, the beauty, the money, and the women. Taurus sits on the second house, and the second house is all about your self possessions, your self worth, the money that you earn on your own, not money that you get from someone else. Um, it rules, basically, it's a house of me. Now, it sits in opposition to Scorpio. Scorpio is the eighth house, and that house represents really how a relationship works. Okay, so it rules those resources and things that you have to share with another person: death, taxes, alimony, um, child support, any type of possessions that you have to share collectively as a couple. Okay, so there's an opposition there. And my take would be, if you might have some issues around this Scorpio full moon come up about your self-worth, your self-esteem, your self-love, how you yourself are viewed, valued, and appreciated, with the opposition of, you know how is that working for me in this relationship. So if you have to, if things come up like that, if you have to, let's say, try to meet with someone for child support, sign any papers, divorce papers, inheritance, lotto, any of those things like that, that rule the eighth house over the full moon period. Because Mercury is in retrograde, Mercury is the communicator. You might say something that could be misunderstood, or you could say something that is misunderstood, in which case it could spark fights. And we do know that full moons are endings. Okay, we say, well, they're beginnings and they're endings. Yeah, but something typically ends, clears the deck, so you can start over on the new full moon. So, just kind of be cautious when you're speaking to people. Think twice before you speak, or before you hit the send button, reread that stuff, that whether you're texting or emailing. Just be a little bit more hyper aware of how you're coming across. It may not be what you're saying, it could be the manner in which you're saying it. Then again, it could be what you're saying. So, just keep an eye out for that. All right, we're going to put 9 cards down. This is mid-month, May 2016, for the sign of Aries. This is a general reading. In other words, the messages may not relate to every Aries, sun, moon, and rising person out there, in which case you should book a personal reading with me. People, don't be coming to my website filling out forms talking about you want a 45-minute reading and don't be sending no payment. Really? I can't confirm unless you pay. Okay? Um, anyway, you need a personal reading. I can tune in to your own energies, and that's how we do the readings. So I want to thank all of you who participated in the pay what you want. I may be bringing that back at a later date. I just have some other things I've got to clear off the deck first. Don't ask me why I tried to start during Mercury retrograde, because I'm always bitching about it. Don't start nothing new. I didn't even listen to my own advice. All right, here we go. 9 cards down. Oh, this is looking pretty good, Aries. First row. Wow. Well, oh, okay. And then I have the 2 of coins underneath the deck. Now, 9 cards down, and what I have, the Sun, the Magician, the 2 of Cups, the Strength, the 6 of Wands, the King of Swords, and then at the bottom I have the Tower, the Devil, and the Star. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 major arcana. Oh, 6. I'm sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 major arcana. So in other words, whatever's going on, it's kind of like out of your hands. You don't have a whole lot of control over the external forces. Let's just say the universe is in control of this situation. Right in the center of the spread, what I have is this 6 of Wands. Now, I forgot to tell you, yes, Jupiter went direct into Virgo, either the 9th or the 10th this month. So depending on where Jupiter lands in your chart, whatever house that's in, you might be feeling some easing of tensions and, you know, starting to see light at the end of the tunnel. But I have this 6 of Wands, and it represents Jupiter in Libra. I'm sorry, in Leo. It is called the Lord of Victory. So I can honestly say that for some of you Arians out there, you have either received news or some type of indication of something very positive that you can move forward with, okay? The Lord of Victory. This is that card, and it relates to the time frame of August 2nd, the week of August 2nd through the 11th, okay? So now, because we have all of these retrogrades and we had an eclipse at the beginning of the year, this could be something that you were working on or that relates to either that last eclipse that we had in 2015, because it ran across that Aries Libra axis again. So if it's not that, back in August of 2015, it could even go back that far. If not that, then what it's telling me is that retrogrades, no matter what planet is retrograde, this is related to something in the past, okay? It's something related to the past. This is the past row. And retrogrades come in to give you an opportunity to whatever you can put, whatever word you can put in front of, that's what you should be doing. So, you know, depending on where Mars is retrograde, depending on where that falls in your house, you may have been lacking a little energy or get up and go or not quite sure, because Mars is the warrior god. He gives you your fighting spirit. Pluto is where you need to make deep, you know, transformational changes. So depending on what house Pluto retrogrades in, Saturn, so on and so forth in your own personal chart. So I do feel that this is related to something in your past, and you're kind of getting an indication that, you know, yeah, this is the right way to go. All right. Because what I have on the top row, the Sun, the Magician, and the 6 of Cups. The Sun comes in at the top of this spread. It, in a sense, kind of negates the Tower and the Devil. Okay. Because the Sun is all about vitality, abundance, life, joy, happiness, positivity. Okay. And it's something that you yourself, Arians, have worked on. Because we know that the Magician is the guy who's got all of the tools necessary to create his own reality. I also feel that this kind of relates in a way to Mercury retrograde. Here at the top, it's in the past position against Saturn. Okay, we're going to talk about that in a second. But whatever this thing is that you've been working on and you've manifested it and you've really done the work of getting it done, it relates to either something to do with your past, a past person, because that's what retrogrades do. Retrogrades bring back past people and past situations. If it's not the exact same person or exact same situation, you typically find yourself in a similar situation in which you've been in before. And this card comes in to tell you that you may have to reach back to your past in order to solve, if there's an issue, solve the problem. But at the same time, this card could be a trip home. It could be to your childhood home. It could be about friends. This could also represent literally a past love reappearing back in. It's like you manifested that person up, and that typically happens during retrogrades. You think about somebody and they show up, or you hear from them out of the blue. Whatever this thing is, it has given you really some strength and allowed you to kind of get a handle on perhaps a lot of that fire energy that may be going on, that restless spirit, getting a handle on your desires, and trying to focus them in a direction that's going to be more conducive to whatever limitations you may be having. And I see this is the past, this is past, present, future, past, present, future. And what I see here is that there indeed you were on this great run, this great cycle. This is a fire card. This is a fire card. That's a fire card. This is a fire card. So, there was a lot of energy and movement and going on behind it. And then suddenly, like maybe it came to a screeching halt, or something occurred out of the blue that you like, what the hell? Okay. This is typically a bolt from the blue. It could be a sudden realization. It could be maybe the loss of a job, the loss of a relationship, the loss of, your finances. But it typically represents something that came about very, very unexpected, and it happened like that. Okay. And this is whatever this thing is, literally it will cause you to stop in your tracks, because now you've got to first reorient yourself, and then you got to figure out what the hell just happened, and then how do you move forward. So, it causes you to question your beliefs about whatever this thing was that you were really, really, focused and intent on. Now, it kind of deals with, in one respect, I'm looking at this King of Swords. I go from these beautiful, beautiful cards to this King of Swords. And this may represent, some of you Arians may be dealing with an air sign person, Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius. And if not an air sign person, then in looking at the stance of the card, it is someone who is rather cold and emotionally distant. Someone that may be difficult to talk to, or someone who has cut you off completely. It's like you're going along and then bam, okay, this person or this thing shows up. He either blocks you, or whatever this is, I think he is kind of like tied into this tower. Okay. Even still, even though this is a past row, this card follows. So he still has something to do with the tower. And this could be literally the way in which you're interacting with this person, or this person is interacting or not interacting with you. Is this causing you to question some things? Maybe you're questioning the relationship. Maybe you're questioning the whole situation. And for some of you, I think you feel either this person is responsible for restricting you, or holding you back, or keeping you under the thumb, so to speak. But as I say with this card all the time, it is a perception. I'm sorry there's such a glare on it, but if you look, the people at the base of that, at the devil's podium there, have very, very loose collars and chains around their neck, and they can literally take that off and walk away. So if you're feeling as though someone is blocking you or preventing you, this really is not a true thing. It is a perception. The Magician, it is like an illusion. That's what the Magician does, a sleight of hand as well. Okay. And this could literally be something that you're conjuring up. Okay. It's not really based in reality. Because I do have this, man, I done conjured this stuff up and I'm moving forward, and then bam, this card represents Saturn, and Saturn is all about obstacles and limitations and being restricted, not being able to move freely or think freely or speak freely. But it's not a no. So if you feel as though someone is blocking you, whether directly or indirectly, they really aren't. They're not saying to you, it's like you're saying no. You're telling yourself no, okay? Not the other way around. But Saturn is not about no's. It's just a not yet kind of a thing. And I think at some point, some of you are going to get this, that sudden realization that I'm really not stuck. Look at the difference in the cards, the three cards here. The Tower, the Devil, and then the Star. And the Star comes in, okay, to shine a light on whatever it is you need to see, okay? That's going to restore your balance, your hopes, your dreams, your wishes. This is a Venus card. And what I find very beautiful about this spread is that it starts with the sun and it ends with the star. Okay, so both by day and by night in the center, the ability for you to be victorious in whatever it is you're trying to work on really all comes down to you. And what this, I'm looking at this diagonal here, excuse me, the Six of Cups, the Six of Wands, and that's two sixes with the Tower. This says that it's like maybe a sudden reappearance or a sudden situation came about right at the moment you're about to move forward. You know, man, it's like the prize is snatched away from you. Okay, damn, you know, but that's not true. It's just kind of like a moment where the universe is trying to work some things out for you. Okay, it's like it's trying to prevent you from rushing ahead too fast so that you make a mistake. And I can see that for a lot of you, the energy of this is that some of you may be financially off balance, okay, and just trying to, you know, keep them balls in the air, you know, robbing Peter to pay Paul, because you felt that this person or this energy has blocked you and prevented you from moving forward. And if it was about a monetary issue, it's just that the timing is not right yet. And then for some of you where this is an emotional issue with the ships on the back, it has come along really and tossed you up and down and up and down. Your emotions are like a roller coaster, you know. But I want you to look at this line here. And if this person is someone who's just been like a thorn in your side, I do see that it is someone related to your past, or at least someone that you know. And if it's not this person, then this person has done something or created a situation which is all too familiar. Okay. What this tells me is that this line here, the Six of Cups, the King of Swords, and the Star card, is that this event came about because it was related like to a soul lesson. Okay. And this person, even though they may have been really like a damn hemorrhoid with no cure for it, okay, then what these cards are telling me is that this was designed, it was set up by the universe. There is nothing random. And what the reason why it was done, it was because it's been asking you to really get clear about those things that you want, you know, and how bad do you really want them? And if it's something that you really hold close to your heart, why on earth would you stop? What would prevent you from stopping? You know, if it's really, really something that you want, it's really, really something you desire, okay, why on earth would you let anything stop you from getting that? Now, we know that sometimes things just don't work out the way that we want, but as my grandma used to say, there's more than one way to skin a cat. So if one path is blocked to you and it's still something you really, really want, you go back to the drawing board. That's what the retrogrades are all about. And you figure out a different path. Nevertheless, you're going to end up getting to where you want to go. Okay. You may have to start over again in many different areas, but you can do it. Now, I want to take a look at, quickly, I want to look at the three cards that stand out the most. This King of Swords, the Tower, and the Devil. The first thing I want to do is look at the Tower card to see what this sudden event was. And this card, believe it or not, is represented by Mars. And as I said, Mars was in retrograde, so it's like something came in, bam, out the blue, and kind of drew you back. You know, retrogrades go back, go slow. Saturn is in retrograde. Mercury is in retrograde. This is why he sits up here. This is the appearance of Mercury in retrograde, is opposing, I guess, your Saturn in some way, or making you feel as if you can't go forward. Maybe the Mercury retrograde itself has slowed things down. You haven't heard back from people. You don't know what's going on. Whatever plans you had kind of fell through. You know, it's not a no, it's just a not yet. Now, these three cards, Costanza, Fedeltà, and the Donati, on the Tower, in this, tells me that this was some type of creative endeavor or project. Maybe it was a job. Maybe you've been applying for work and you haven't heard anything back yet. Maybe you've done an interview and, you know, it's been like 3 weeks and you still don't know anything. Okay. And what this has done is it's caused you to question, am I even doing the right thing? Maybe I should find something else, you know, but then what the hell am I going to do? And this has affected your faith. Okay. It has affected the belief and the loyalty to what you hold dear. And it may have even your security, both in a emotional sense, a mental sense, but also in a financial sense. Okay. Like you can't win for losing. The Devil. Remember I said that this was a person, and if, you know, if he's not an air sign, this is the way the person is behaving. On the Devil, I have the Falsità. And them two ugly cards, and I don't even want to talk about that. But in a way, they kind of negate each other out, you know. And maybe that's why the Tower came in, to kind of give you some clarity on that. A false love or a false belief in love. And in a sense, it's like trying to get away, but there's also something hidden there. Okay? Because sometimes the military card troops do secret movements. They do black ops. They do things like that. It could also be all of a sudden being caught in a plan that you thought was something positive, but wasn't. And now you failed to see the trap. Okay, but remember, you can still, if that person don't have you chained up and bound in their basement, you can get away. It's that fucking simple. Excuse my language. It's that simple. Now, the King of Swords, that empty communication. Perhaps remembering what that was like back when this person wasn't in this space, and saying that if a person is behaving this way, it is an ego-based thing. Because this card can represent being haughty, being proud, being stubborn. I don't know if you know anything about peacocks, but they're some mean birds. You know, they are really mean. They're beautiful, but they're mean as all get out. So appearances can be deceiving. That's what that says. I think I'm going to pull... No, I'm not going to pull any more cards. I think that's going to do it. I just think that you should hang on a little while longer. Because I can't read the bottom of this card. It's the Lord of Harmonious something. This Two of Pentacles. In other words, just try to maintain where you are. Don't try to do nothing fancy. You know, kind of, you know, keep yourself busy, but keep your eye out on the future, what's coming. I do feel that it's going to work out in the end, but then, you know, because this Tower mirrors this Star card here, it's like it might be something sudden where you're just going to have to get up and you have to be like a shot out back to whatever it was you were trying to do. In which case, you know, again, that can throw you a little off balance. So just try to maintain some semblance of balance, okay? That's what I have for you, Aries. I do hope that the messages help you. Again, if you need a personal reading, get on over to the website. Don't forget to hit the PayPal button if you're sending me a form. Okay, if you just want to ask me some questions, about whatever, you can email me, but keep in mind, I'm not going to answer any questions related to a general reading. I'm just not. So, you want to email me about the procedure, how I do readings, where do I pay, where do I go? If you can't figure it out through the website, then you can email me. Keep an eye out on that full moon, and namaste.